Top of the morning folks, today from the Reddit Rainforest. What's your most awkward sexual experience? When I was with my first boyfriend, we were doing the usual learning about each other bodies on a couch in my basement. One thing leads to another, and I end up giving him head. As him coming up for a breath of air, my little sister comes down and sits next to us. So my boyfriend and I are both pantless under a blanket while him still holding his dick. And my sister says, "So do you guys want some cookies?" As soon as she says this, he starts coming under the blanket in my hand. Him freaking out telling my sister to leave, while both my hands are covered in semen. She would not leave till I take a cookie. I end up wiping my hands off the best I can and taking a damn cookie. But I still effectively got a good amount of my boyfriend's jizz on the plate of cookies. We ended up sitting, still pantless on the couch for another hour while listening to my sister eat the rest of the jizz cookies in the next room. By far my most awkward sexual encounter in high school. So me and my girlfriend were fooling around, and I decided to go downtown and do my business for her. She's loving it. It's awesome. She comes and so I sit up. When I look at her, her face is in shock. And not good shock but bad shock. I look down, and her vagina and legs are just covered in blood, and so is my mouth face ECT. It was kinda funny cause we were dating, and was not a big deal, and assured her I didn't care. So I go to the bathroom to get all the blood off of my face and quickly realize she did not have her period. But I just had gotten a massive bloody nose. Now I'm embarrassed, and she is laughing her ass off. Needless to say, I eat pussy hardcore. A few years ago, I went to a club for late night, 3-5 am, but no alcohol sales. While there, I met this girl who I call Pocahontas. Poker for short. She was 5'8", gorgeously tanned skin, dark hair, green eyes, in shape, and wearing this yellow halter top thing that drove me off the edge. I immediately started talking to her, and she really wasn't having any of it. So I back off and tell her I'll see her later on. About 20 minutes later I run into her by the back bar. I ordered 2 bottles of water and we resumed conversation. Turns out she was single, formally engaged, but her fiancé passed away a few months past in a car accident. We talked about that for a few, and I told her that I was at a loss. I wanted to be respectful of her situation, but I really wanted to see what was up. She seemed bemused by this and muttered something, then invited me to her place for drinks. We take a cab from the club and head down the road. When we catch up, I'll learn more about her past and tell her some stuff about me. Now mind you, my plan was to just hang out for a bit, get a solid makeout in, but then leave so she'll want to see me again. But when we get in, she pours us a drink and then it begins. She says that it's really weird that she ran into me. I remind her of Dan, her dead ex. I tell her something about how it's probably just the way our personalities are, or maybe it's because we guys all act the same way towards her. She laughs and after a second or two, asks me if I want to see a picture of them. I'm really trying to be the cool guy, so I agree. We walk to the kitchen where she has a pic in a frame by some appliance. Holy malarkey, this dude actually looks like me, not a real doppelganger. But if you just kind of glanced that way, you would definitely be mistaken. Even the way he posed was similar to me. I freak out a little bit, and Poker reassures me, telling me that she reacted the same way at the club when I first approached her. I see this as my moment. Say something cheesy and go in for the kiss. She responds approvingly, and we set the throttle full speed, headed toward the boneyard. But, as fate would have it, as I'm banging her with the fury of 10 men, she starts whimpering a little bit. I think it's because of my thrust power, but then she calls out her ducking dead fiance's name, and crying. I stop and start to pull out, but she says no and locks her ankles and asks me to stay inside her. For the next 5-10 minutes, she is sitting there, tell me how much she misses me, but clearly talking to her ex, and I keep playing pipe. I finish. She cleans up and asks if I was freaked out. I lied through my teeth and asked her to call me a cab. She offers to give me a ride, and I accept. But I let myself out a few blocks away from my apartment, so she wouldn't know where I actually lived. I would only see her once more, a few months later, but these 2 interactions with her will follow me to my grave. To sum it up, girl I meet at a club takes me home. I remind her of her dead ex, then proceeds to talk to him while we have sex. Being a parent and having your child knock on the bedroom door asking you to keep the noise down. Nothing rates as awkward as that. I have had this happen. Except it was my son yelling from his bedroom saying stop it. I do not like that. Had to dress and go talk to him to calm him down, and explain I was just watching a movie with a really loud battle scene. Sophomore year of college. True story. Had a huge crush on this girl for a while. We were fooling around in her bed and it got to where she is on her back naked with her legs partially spread and I'm sitting between her legs. I reach down to finger her, but her pussy lips are still together. I go in for a closer look and use my thumb and pointer to separate the lips so I can finger her. As I peel apart the lips, her vagina released the most horrific stench I have ever smelled in my entire life. It was like rotten fish but so much worse. It was like her vagina breathed on me and I literally dry heaved in my throat. She is completely oblivious to this as her head is on the pillow waiting for me to finger her. Unsure of what to do, I started fingering her. After about a minute I sneakily pull my fingers out to smell them without her seeing. My fingers had this white stringy mess on them and the smell on my fingers was so bad I started to dry heave again. At this point, the smell of rotting vagina overtook most of the room and kind of hung like an invisible mist. However, she made no mention of it. I had a condom in my jacket, but I told her I had forgotten one and we should stop. She said, "Do not worry, I'm on birth control, you do not need a condom." Since I do not know how to say no to girls, I proceeded to have unprotected sex with what smelled like a rotting body floating in the bay at low tide. I came in like a minute, pulled out and busted on her stomach, grabbed my clothes and left. Went home and cleaned my dick like it had never been cleaned before. To sum it up, ducked a girl with the pussy of death. Well I had been hanging out with my boyfriend at the time for the entire day and he was taking care of me, food, cuddles, etc. because I had not been feeling too well. After a while I started to feel better, so I decided to initiate the sexy times. So I start blowing him, but there's a problem. I start to feel sick again. I tried to keep going and ignore it, but one too deep thrust later I found myself vomiting right on his junk. He laughed it off. Dunno how, but I was ducking mortified. I'm still ducking mortified. Had a girlfriend in college. We had been arguing and not getting along for at least 2 weeks. On a Saturday morning called me and asked me to go over to her place to pick up some things I left at her house. I picked up my things. She told me it's not working out and dumped me. I drove over to my friend's house and had a few drinks. Who shows up? The ex-GF's friend who used to always give me the sexy eyes when my GF was not looking. She asks me how things are. I told her my ex dumped me. We proceed to find a bedroom and have sex. I got dressed and went home for a shower. When I got out of the shower, there was a message from my GF to call. I'm thinking, oh malarkey, I'm caught. Nope. I called the ex-GF, who dumped me about 4 hours ago, and she says that I forgot some more things at her house and to please come over to get them. I go back to her house and she yells from her bedroom window to come in. The door is unlocked. I walk into her house. She yells at me to go to her bedroom. I walk into her bedroom and she's naked and says that I forgot to duck her one last time for old time's sake. Okay, fair enough. I do my duties, then go home and shower again, then catch a nap for an hour or so. I wake up to loud music and the sound of people talking loudly. Turns out that my roommates decided to have a party and not tell me about it. I put some clothes on and walk out to the main area of the house to see what's going on. I had some drinks, said hi to some people, and met a woman who was really cool. An hour later, me and the new woman are in my bedroom making sweet love. Of course, it's taking me forever to finish up because it's my third time in one day with 3 different women. After about an hour of action, I hear some seriously hard thumps and some very loud and upset yelling. I tried not to let it upset my concentration, but it became difficult when they started banging on my bedroom door and yelling that I'm such a big malarkey face. It turns out that my ex-GF and her friend had talked later that day and discovered that I had slept with both of them. They came over to my house to confront me. My roommates told them that I was shagging another girl in my bedroom. Then all awkward hell broke loose. I walked out of my bedroom, talked to the girls, did my best to calm things down, then went back into my bedroom to finish business with the new woman. Oh college. To sum it up, as a college kid, slept with 3 different women in the same day, got caught. She malarkey a little malarkey nugget right out onto the sheets. At least I think that's what it was. When we were done I saw her pick it up and look at it closely, and I said, "What's that?" And she just threw it away real quick and did not say anything. I stood there awkwardly for a second, not 100% positive, but concluded that it was a little malarkey ball. You banged the malarkey out of her. I started dating this girl that I eventually lost my virginity to at 22, and we had been fooling around quite a bit, but she was always the one to stop us from anything other than oral. So I get home and she's not there, so I decide to hit some Nyquil and pass out. She decides to come home and slam my door, shedding the shirt after she makes sure it's locked. Now I've been hanging out for more than an hour, just waiting for the NyQuil to kick in. She sees me laying there, takes out a box of condoms from her purse and throws them at me, and I can't do anything but try to knock one off before I pass out. So she gets me ready. She climbs on top and starts going at it, and the faster my heart rate gets, the stronger the NyQuil gets. The next thing I remember is waking up naked and alone. I wait till the next day to ask her about it, and she doesn't answer. Nothing from the girl for 3 days. Apparently I told her to get the duck off of me so I could sleep. My girlfriend and I were having sex, and things were going smoothly when all of a sudden I felt a rumbling in my stomach and realized I had to fart. I had to focus so hard on holding in said fart that I could not enjoy the sex at hand. So after about a minute of devoting my attention to clenching my beehole, I decided that if I sped things up and strove to finish, the feelings of pleasure would make me forget about what has hiding behind door #2. It did, but in a way I did not expect. I pulled out and started to come, so completely absorbed in my orgasm that I forgot about the fart, which swiftly and loudly made both of us aware of its presence. I was so embarrassed and immediately wanted to apologize, but my brain was still in orgasm override mode and wanted me to say, "Oh, incoming, incoming." Unfortunately what came out is, "Oh, farting, farting." Needless to say, my girlfriend was speechless, and an awkward silence ensued. It really did enhance the orgasm though. Would recommend. Yeah, had to be. While my girlfriend and I were doing it doggy style in my room, my dad walks in. Of course, but you saw that coming. Heh, coming. Sees me balls deep inside of her. Everyone gets a good couple seconds of awkward eye contact, then he leaves while saying, "Excuse me, wrong room. Carry on." My girlfriend and I just kind of sit there, stunned, when he comes back in, with his head down and says, "How later? I have your laundry. I think you'll need these towels when you're done." He then proceeds to put my laundry not 6 inches away from my girlfriend's face. To top it all off, he winks on the way out. I have never had a boner shrivel up so fast. Welcome to the end of the video. Do not worry, there are many more. Come aboard for more adventures. Like and subscribe for more posts from the Reddit Rainforest. Thanks for watching.